Good morning, everybody. Today we're talking about Firelands Association of Realtors committee request form and what those different committees are and why we feel it's important that we all be involved at some level or another in the different committees. We can't decide how it's hard to have input on or a strong opinion, I guess, as far as how the board is going and how things are happening if we're not going to be involved in it then. So there's multiple committees you can get into, a little bit of something for everybody. Pretty straightforward. Today is a deadline, the 17th of November. We need to get this to Leslie either by email or fax. I'll have more of that here in just a second, but just to back up. So FAOR.com will take you to all kind of interesting stuff. So we'll kind of back up into this, where you're going to find this committee form. I did email it to everybody yesterday, but it's right here then as well. So if you go to FAOR, go to the home screen, you'll probably need to log in. I've found that if you've logged into the Firelands MLS, most of the time, if you click FAOR.com, most of the time your login is already in there. Hello, William Jones. Nobody calls me that. But so the form here is a 2021 committee sign up. That will take you to this form. Actually, I'll just click on it so you can see what it looks like then. So if we go to here, it will give you the directions on what you need to do. We'll cover more of this here in just a second. And then you click this form and that opens up this PDF. Again, we email it to everybody to kind of make sure we're there. So what they're looking for, for each committee, they're looking for helpful volunteers. Helpful, it could mean a lot of different things, but I think Janet could probably explain better than I, but people willing to participate, willing to get involved. It's not a huge commitment. Some committees are more of a commitment probably than others. But, just that you're actually actively going to participate. What we don't like to see in any committee or any group or whatever is the people that volunteer, take up seats, take up space, and don't do anything. They don't ever say anything. They don't participate. They don't have an opinion. They just, yes, no, whatever, they vote with everybody else. So I think the committees are looking for, I may be wrong, but I think they're looking for the similar kind of thing. People that are willing to participate, not necessarily go up there and move and shake and bust the whole thing up and, make a huge difference. If something needs change, I'm an advocate for changing it. Nothing is ever perfect. Nothing's ever set in stone. I don't care what business, what industry you're in. Things can always adjust. Things can, there's things people have not thought of, situations that come up that have never happened before or unique. So yeah, obviously we need to change that, but I don't think they're looking just for people to go up there and bust it up either. So the different committees they have here, I'll show you this then too. You can join, looks like up to 5. They would like you to number them 1 through 5, 1 being your most important choice. So if you really have a hankering for the golf outing and that's your most important thing, I would put number 1 right there. If a continuing ed, 2, kind of go from there. So we'll again get this into to Leslie down at the bottom here. It shows you're going to email to her here or fax it there, and it needs to be in by today. I imagine close of business for them is 4 o'clock ish. I wouldn't wait. I would try to get in by early afternoon if you can at the latest. If you would like to be a chairperson, they ask that you put an asterisk next to your selection. So if I felt like I really need to be the chairperson of commercial and industrial, I would put number 1 asterisk there, and that would be my number 1 pick, and I would like to be the chairperson. Current president, Alex Johnson, and vice president, our own Janet Herzog, will do their best to honor your request. So this is not a guarantee to where you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to be in all 5 committees in the order you selected. It's just, it's your application, I guess, into that there, and they will decide how that's going to work. It would be great to get some new blood in there instead of the same 20 people that are on every committee every year, same thing every time, just so that we can have some fresh eyes on it, some fresh perspective. And good, having input, not there just to bust anybody's chops necessarily, just to actively participate and be a good realtor, be a good, citizen member of our real estate professional community. Okay, so I'll get a little bit into what each of these are. You can all read. I'm not necessarily going to read every word of this here then too, but just kind of showing you what they are. Again, affiliate committee member isn't so much us. That's more, other industries, title, insurance, things like that. They're going to be involved in it. Commercial and industrial. Again, support and enhance realtor agent specializing in commercial real estate. So if you're involved in that, we don't have a ton of that in Tiffin, but there's enough. You could be on that committee then. Continuing education, that's a great one. And again, too, if there is any free continuing education, a lot of times you're going to find that on the Firelands homepage on the announcements of the daily things. And then here then too, if you go to FAOR.com, a lot of times they have all the announcements of what's going on, kind of keeping you up to date then. So any of the continuing ed I think we'll show you right here, education, all classes. I'm kind of getting off topic, sorry. But if there's a class coming up, you can join those. A lot of times they're free. Sometimes they're at low cost or sponsored by different, banks or title companies, inspectors and things like that. So, but again, if you're on this committee, you can have some input, direct input as far as for what continuing education we're going to do, what kind of sponsorships we're going to do, what that cost is going to look like. So wouldn't be a bad idea to get involved in that. Community service and PR, kind of self-explanatory, equal housing or equal opportunity in housing. I know NAR is going to pick a big push on this here going forward. Kind of looks like they've really been driving that then as well. I imagine the states will pick that up then too. So there's probably going to be more and more push for, diversity and looking in for things like that, and making sure everybody's being treated properly, which we all do. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about anybody in our office discriminating, steering, redlining, doing anything like that. But they're really going to be a big push on that. And unfortunately, a lot of times you're guilty until proven innocent. So we'll just continue to all do the right thing. But, that would be another committee that, is probably going to be pretty important going forward. The forms committee, I'm on this now. I think Tom and I actually are on this now. I would like to see a little more happening with that, but that's a direct line into what our contracts look like, our addendums look like, things like that. They just recently made some changes to our purchase contract. Some are good, some not so much. But again, if you're not on these committees, you're not going to have any input at all. Big thing, the Bob Strayer Memorial Classic, big golf outing they do every year. It's a lot of fun. Grievance. So here's kind of the big two I'm going to skip here real quick. So grievance, if you're not familiar with that, I'll just read it to you. Acting as a grand jury and professional standards process as outlined in a National Association of Realtors. Two people from the same office cannot serve on this committee. So that's the first step before you would then go on to, if you wanted to, the professional standards. That has a little more teeth in it, but you would start with the grievance. There is a required training. I believe Tom and Janet have both been through that then as well. But that would be kind of the gatekeeper. If there is an issue between offices, between agents, things like that, you sit in and hear of like kind of what's going on, trying to help decide if it needs taken to the next level, or is it something that can just be figured out at that level, whether it's going to move forward or not. Legislative and RPAC fundraising, again, important. They've reminded us several times now that the Ohio Association of Realtors, the RPAC group, had advocated to the legislation during COVID to make sure that we were deemed an essential business. So it is important. That would be something that would be good to be involved in. They're going to have you rattle in cages trying to raise funds, though. So just be aware of that. Member service and awards, MLS tech and advisory. Again, this is another one I've been on then as well. Assist staff and members, offering ideas and suggestions to help the MLS become more user-friendly. And trying to keep everybody up with the technology. You guys know me, I reluctantly love tech, but I mean, it's a big part of our industry. It's going to be a big part going forward. And again, you can be part of that, what we're going to be looking at. Professional standards. And again, I'll just read this. You have to be a realtor. It can't be an affiliate member. It can't be anything else. You can't just be a real estate agent. You have to be a realtor. Previously have served on the grievance committee. Assisting the professional standards process as outlined by the National Association of Realtors by acting as a hearing panel. You should have served on the grievance committee prior to serving on the professional standards. Again, required mandatory training. That's if you're a realtor and you're sitting in front of this panel, I guess you're probably not in a good position. So, but if you're on the other side of it and you're helping kind of drive I'm not going to pretend like I know everything that happens with that then too, but you would be part of the jury, the judge and jury, I guess, at that point then too. So, and again, scholarships, funds to students and things like that. And there's those couple membership or couple schooling things that they put up every year then as well. So I would encourage everybody to get involved at some level. They previously, with COVID and everything like that, a lot of them have been through Zoom meetings, which is super convenient, not quite as effective maybe as sitting in person around everybody where you can look each other in the eye, belly to belly, and kind of hash things out. But with everything going on, I'm hoping going forward, they do continue to offer Zoom meetings, even if they are in-person meetings. Again, if you're part of these committees or the chair of the committee, you can decide how that's going to work. So if you're involved with it and you say, hey, look, we really need to keep Zoom going on, I really don't see that should be an issue with that. It saves us, 45-minute hour drive there and back for kind of a short meeting at different times. But I would highly encourage everybody to get involved. I'm personally going to get involved in a couple of these. So if you have any questions at all, Myself, I know Janet's been in a lot of these. Obviously, she's involved with this. She's our vice president. So maybe reach out to her then directly then as well. Sorry, Janet, I'm volunteering you to that. But, get involved. There's no reason not to, other than a little bit of time, but we have direct impact on what our industry is looking like locally, what our board is doing, how we're interacting with things, and how things are decided. So again, it's just like voting. If you don't get out there and vote, you probably don't have a reason or a voice to kind of voice your opinion if you don't like the way something's going, if you're not involved. So get involved. If you have any questions, let me know. Give me a call. If you guys need anything at all, give me a shout, and we'll go from there. Talk to you soon, and get your forms in today.